happening, everybody, and welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, the podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going? I didn't forget to hit the timer button on my phone right here.
I totally wasn't going to out you.
Oh, really? I don't trust you. I know you. I know you. And start. There we go.
It's seamless. Perfect. No one will know.
How are you doing, bro? Welcome back.
I'm doing good. It's good to be back.
I was going to say, we pretty much do
Weekly,
this all the time.
Yes.
We're friends.
Nah.
We both make the same jokes. That's how close we are. But yeah, you doing good, yeah?
Yeah, man. Not bad at all.
Do you know what's... I was saying this before we started recording of the Streamcast episode that we recorded before this. We already have limited space in this room.
Yeah.
And...
It's a small room. It's smaller than it looks. The cameras add depth and stuff that isn't really there.
Exactly. Yeah. And the camera apparently adds 10 pounds as well, so keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's definitely on the camera, not my COVID diet. Yeah.
And I've decided to make that even worse by buying an even bigger desk behind you.
Yeah.
Forcing us to cramp even more.
Why didn't you push it further towards the wall? Actually, wouldn't it's still almost a foot wider.
It's still almost more, but you know what it is? Then the light bar behind it won't have enough space to emanate light upwards. Right. So, you know, it's a small price to pay, in my opinion.
Our comfort, especially my comfort, is a small price to pay.
Your comfort, that's the one, right? That's the one. But yeah, this is the True Gamer Podcast. What have you been up to, bro? How's gaming been, everything like that? Have you been doing good?
So, my gaming has suffered a little bit, because I've just been super busy the last little while, and stuff, so I have a couple of things still to do this weekend, because we're gonna do something on the weekend, but you said earlier, not this weekend, correct? Because you're doing family stuff.
I'm confused. Well, I don't know what are we all doing something.
I'm setting aside one of my
so bad.
I'm setting aside one of my free weekends to help you with the central heating thing.
Right.
But that's not happening this weekend, is it? That's not this weekend.
My mind's fried at the moment. I'm gonna have to work that out.
Then I will double check for this announcement, and we will correct it if it's changed. But I think I've got this weekend free, and I want to finish Ratchet and Clank because it's just been put on the back burner, and I really want to finish that. And then I got the Control DLC to finish.
Oh yeah, was it the Alan Wake one or something?
No,
like that?
Weirdly, I did the Alan Wake one first.
I don't know. That was the second one.
It is the second one.
Oh, okay.
That's just what I did first.
Shep's doing something out of order?
What crazy?
It's like do the side content first and then come to the main story? No.
Never.
No.
So I want to finish the Control DLC because I did really enjoy that game.
Good.
And probably once we finish that, before I finish and put Control down forever, we'll go through the maze again because that was so much fun. Oh my God, was that fun?
Yeah. I'm glad you like that game. I'm glad you like that game.
And then the next thing really on my list is obviously the Ghost of Sashimi DLC, which I'll be having a lot of fun with. And that's coming soon as well, yeah.
Was it the 20th of August?
Yeah, like a month.
Just over a month away, guys. That's pretty exciting.
So I'm keen for that. Also, we've recently started doing that share play thing.
Yeah,
will that
like
work for this?
Games.
For the record, I don't care. If it doesn't, I will happily pay for it. It's not a problem for me. I'm just curious.
I think it will. Yeah, it's just like it's an additional upgrade on the disc. So you've got the disc, I've got the disc as well. So yeah, we can do it. Yeah, I think we can.
Yeah, cool. I mean, like, it's not like it mattered to me. We've been able to share play since the PS4 came out, and we buy all our games individually anyway. Yeah. So
don't get me wrong. It's a great feature for us to have, especially because we're doing it as well a bit for content as well and things like that. But I like my discs. I like the physical disc cases just so I can look at them all and go, look at my collection of games.
So this is one of those games that just sort of speaks to me. If the DLC is good enough, which it likely will be, I will get a director's cut. So I'm going to buy the DLC, maybe at half price if we share play, and then I'm just going to buy the game again so I can get the case that I want.
The beautiful like golden white case it's got right there. Ooh, it looks beautiful.
I have to.
I pre-ordered Death Stranding's physical edition again, even though it could be a $10 upgrade. Cut. I was like, how much is this goddamn thing? How much is it? $42.99.
You know what the problem is? We're irresponsible.
Yes, we are.
So that's like a major issue.
Unfortunately, it's not something we can cure as well.
No, yeah, because we're also double-digit, like low double-digit IQ. Have you actually been playing anything? Because I know you're pre-ordering, obviously, but
Just before we get into that, actually,
Yeah.
because I don't want to go too far into this without thanking the great patrons over at patreon.com/Conbrosations,
That's right.
those super bros who support us at the $15 tier and above. You guys are the best
Do
people.
we have
You
above?
guys, we do actually.
Is anyone on it?
Yeah, a few people are at $30 tier.
Really?
But people,
What?
for some reason, people like us.
That's crazy.
Don't get it.
I'm glad we managed to hoard all these terrible people with terrible tastes. Who do we have to thank?
We have pull it up. We have Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate Cumsol, Carol Tarivia, aka Casper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Martin Scorsese's Master H Barts 12, the Super Sus Ben Fryer, who's a terrible
Just
defective clone
awful.
of Eddie. It's just awful. I don't even know what to do. The Star Wars Encyclopedia, Adam Sunling, Filthy FIFA Fanatic, Joe McCormack, My Juicy Left Nut, the Sexy Producer, Sean, and Kevin, the #1 simp. Of Xbox. Thank you guys so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here at the True Game Podcast.
Before we go any further, I just want to do the seasoned comedian thing and explain the joke. We do the pause because it's funny for the audio versions. You and I know that. Anyone that's made content kind of gets it.
Yeah.
Mainly it's for you and me. It's a joke for us because we're idiots. We were told, because we don't ever listen to our own content, we're
Yeah.
either like chatting with you guys in the live
We
chat.
can't stand it, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, we have good taste.
Yeah, exactly.
We wouldn't listen to
the
our own
show.
stuff. But whenever we are there, like when the show's playing, we're chatting with everybody in the stuff, or we're editing. So we just check that the quality's there. It's like dual monos is coming out both sides. Oh, sorry guys, it's coming out both sides. You know, it's not. And then we don't listen to it. So apparently, you can hear the fan in the background.
Yeah.
So it's not completely dead silence where people think their phones have turned off or something.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the pause. So, yeah, for the people who are in the audio versions, if you're listening, we turned off the fan for that moment and then came
I
back.
hope it worked. Otherwise, we'll just have to start with no fan and then start it. Because I'm willing to do it for the bit.
For the first 5 minutes, we'll be in this hot room with
Oh my
hot
God,
lights.
awful. By the way,
And our hot sexual attention.
it got noticeably warmer in that 15 seconds.
Mad, and it hasn't even fully kicked back on. And I'm like, in a second, it's going to go and kick back in again. And that's the only time I'm going to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And I'm wearing a hoodie as well, so this is extra bad right now. Guys, thank you so much for keeping the lights and mics on. You guys are all fantastic.
Yes, you are.
So, in terms of games, I am
Yes.
actually playing quite a few games.
What are you? What?
I suffered an injury that you know about.
I do know.
to
Yeah.
my right testicle.
You're a gentleman sausage. Yeah.
Exactly. It wasn't like a big injury, nothing like that, but it got like bruised somehow from something, and I could not walk for like a little bit. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna sit in front of the TV and play video games then.
You know,
That's
one
what
of the
I'm
things I
gonna
hope
do.
these guys appreciate. There's no barriers with us. You learn everything about us, and it's even worse on the Conbros podcast. I feel like we should save that just for Conbros.
Don't worry about it. You guys can hear the story over on the Conbrosations podcast, exclusive to patreon.com/conversation. You guys should go check that right there. $1 a month, great access. So basically, I've been doing a lot of gaming.
Yeah.
I started up Red Dead
Oh, that's right.
Redemption
Because you haven't
Online.
been at work because it's been pretty rough actually.
Exactly.
We were supposed to do a bunch of stuff Monday and Tuesday. I want to say, and none of it happened because
That's right. So I kicked
I've been
on-
telling my mum you have a
Ah,
back
here we go.
injury.
Not gonna
By the
get
way,
this. Oh really?
I was like, he's injured his back.
Mate, he's lost his back. He's
Hurt his back.
He's in a
She's like,
wheelchair.
oh, is he feeling better? I don't know. Back injuries, mum.
in a wheelchair. It's like, oh god. Because how do you explain a bollock injury to someone else?
Especially a woman.
Anyway,
Yeah.
True Gamer Podcast. I kicked on Red Dead Redemption Online
Yeah.
because there's a new update that's out, something
Yeah.
called Blood Money. And I've only been playing a little bit of it, but it seems fun so far.
That's good.
People who have got a lot more time to sink into it have been playing a lot more and digging right into it. Some people have been saying that it's nothing too special. To be honest, I wasn't expecting anything special because Rockstar have sort of like treated Red Dead Online like the ginger stepchild that
It really is, yeah,
really
yeah.
didn't want.
It's worse. It feels like it's a regular white ginger stepchild, but the parents are black. Like, it really sticks out as a sore thumb. They adopted a baby.
Like, we really
and
don't
it's-
want you.
You're right.
really
We don't want you, but we're legally obligated. Like, you don't even fit in. We can't even be like, weird genes. Like, you're definitely not ours.
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, so I've been playing a bit of that.
Yeah.
I played a little bit more Returnal. However, I have got nowhere with that. I'm still stuck in that fucking same spot, and it's kicking my ass. What else did I play? There was other games that I played.
I was going to ask you about Mass Effect, but because of your injury, the thing about streaming is, especially with us, where for the record, we stream for fun. It is fun, but we have a slightly larger community, patrons, paying subs and stuff like that, and so you want to be like on.
You want to give them something.
Yeah, you want to be entertaining and stuff. And if you're feeling a little bit sick, like someone just kicked you in the nuts, you're probably not in your best form in it. So I was going to ask about Mass Effect, but
I'm okay now. I've just recovered from my injury.
Yeah.
I'm dreading maybe if I sit in that chair to edit for like 2 hours on end,
it's gonna be rough.
It might come back.
It's gonna be rough.
I'm worried, but that's what would have happened. I wouldn't be able to be on. But earlier this week, before the injury, I streamed. Speaking of streaming,
yeah,
I streamed 2 games. One, the Undefeated game, which was that Superman rip-off game that somebody made in Unreal Engine for free.
Yeah.
And my God, is it great!
I saw your tweet.
So it was Alfie's idea. He goes, why don't you chuck on the Man of Steel music in the background and play the game? And I was like, the best idea ever. Absolutely amazing. Chucked it on and I'm like, I'm flying around.
Yeah.
The flying mechanics are so good. The punching mechanics are so good. The super speed is so... It's just fantastic. Proof right in front of you that a Superman game can be done. I mean, and those people that say it's not... that it's impossible... are just morons.
I wanna say, because my brother and I used to get, I think even back on the PS2 days, these Dragon Ball Z games. I forget what they're called. So basically, it's just like Tekken, but it's Dragon Ball Z. It's like Goku and Cell and stuff. And in that, you can fly and do Kamehamehas and all that shit. And in the later games, it's a bit more open world. Like you can fly around Capsule City and all that stuff. And that is basically a Superman thing. Yeah. And it's proof. Like people will buy it for Dragon Ball Z. People will download the rip-off of Superman. Just make it. Just make it.
Yeah.
Just make it.
If this guy had charged $1, he'd have made a fortune.
Do we know how many downloads it got?
I don't know personally. I'm not sure how to track that. I'm sure there's a way to track it.
Should we reach out to him and ask him? Say, hey, look, you're an unknown. You're nobody, a penniless fool.
Nobody, you can come on this great podcast, the Conbrosations podcast, True Game Podcast.
Right.
We'll sort you out. Don't worry.
So you played that?
I played that. It was fantastic. It made me... There's tons of clips now on our channel of me just...
jizzing,
orgasming basically on the thing. And I played one other game, speaking of orgasms.
It's an interesting transition, yes?
Sean gifted me a copy of a game called...
Oh God, no!
Wanking Simulator. And my God, what a game. It's actually a completely garbage game. Like, it's not good at all.
Is it one of those... You know some of those games where it's like you have to do Olympic sports, but you control every muscle in the thing, and so you have to like run, but you can't go anywhere.
Like you have to control the grip as well as the stroke and the strength and whatnot. No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
It's much more simple, which takes you out of it. Really, you can't you can't get invested in the character. No, it's really simple. It's like you're a guy just in some shorts. You press a button to start wanking, but there's no dick out or anything like that. It's just the guy going like this in front of him, and in your headphones, all you hear is.
Nice.
And while you're doing that, people are running away in terror, and there's police coming to attack you. There's I don't know, a transvestite, as far as I can tell. Okay. There's a muscle guy, but in a dress. Nice. And I was like, cool, no problem. I'm wanking here. Do you mind? Give me a break.
You're making this really easy.
Really easy for me, And then there's someone called Johnny. It's supposed to be Johnny Silverhand, but it's Johnny... There was a funny play on words. It was like Johnny...
Jizzhand.
Something. It was something funny like that. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
Johnny Sinsverhand. Say,
I mean, who's Johnny Sins?
No idea.
Don't know what you're talking
about. Guy does memes. He's every girl's dad on the internet, apparently.
My church group doesn't talk about
I think he's a doctor and a plumber and a race car driver and a pool boy. And he's a really industrious kind of guy.
Oh, wow. Wow, so jack of all trades right there.
Yeah.
However, the most terrible part of this,
you never finish.
The entire stream, we couldn't come.
What?
There was a button. It said push in the scroll wheel for the cum shot.
Yeah, didn't work. You broke his balls.
Guys got constant. That's what I was wondering. I was wondering maybe if I was playing it, preparing myself, and that's what caused my injury.
Damn. Maybe.
Anyway, thank you very much. And during that stream, everyone decided we're going to go on a gifting Eddie games spree. I'm pretty sure all of these games are free, but they're Fart Simulator. There's all these other, all these other
you
crazy
have to control
things.
the rectum. You have to get
Is that how big do you want the sphincter to go? The bigger it is, the softer the fart is. But
and the higher the chance of the shit, but extra points for shit.
Exactly, stuff like that. So it was a good fun time. Played a lot of games. I'm enjoying myself recently.
Good, man. I really do enjoy streaming. It's a good way to like play games and unwind and hang out with the community.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. Twitch is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Give us more subs for frick's sake.
Do it, Jeff. Because we haven't streamed for a little bit. When I streamed, everyone re-upped their subscription, obviously, because that's just the way it is. And the first, 20 minutes of the show was just, that song?
Yeah.
When everyone subscribes. So I was like, all right, I guess this is the stream. Guys, this is the True Gamer Podcast.
It's true.
Coming to your eyes and ears every Saturday over at youtube.com.
Just search for the True Gamer Podcast or Conbrosations.
And on podcast services around the world. If you just search for the True Gamer Podcast, you can get that to your eyes and ears every week. If you guys love us and if you guys want to support us, you can head over there, hit a like on the video, hit subscribe to the channel as well so you get all of our videos straight away, hit the notification bell, all those YouTube things that people tell you to do.
You know the stuff.
And also leave us a comment down there and tell us what you like about the show. Tell us what you want to see in the future perhaps. Leave good comments because it helps the YouTube algorithm, helps us out.
It does,
that. Also, if you want to take your support even further, if you want to be extra supportive, you can head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations where you can kick us a couple of bucks a month and you can get things like the Conbrosations podcast, which
exclusive
for just $1. You can get early access to this podcast at the $5 level and have your name read out in a little bit with the True Gamers over there. And if you convert, you can donate higher as well if you want to. That all helps us out and helps support keep the lights and mics on over here. If you can't though, if you don't want to, that's totally fine. We love you regardless. Just being here, watching with us is all that matters to us. Every one of you are appreciated no matter where you are. We love you all. What's next?
I was going to pitch Correcting Conversations.
Oh, let's get into some Correcting
Which actually
Conversations.
has so far been one of my favorite new segments.
Yes.
So if you're new around here, we are really stupid. Like really stupid. And we've never let facts get in the way of a strongly held opinion. So we'll often just spout out random crap, basically. And we decided, because we were getting so many personal messages about like, you're idiots, you don't know this, all these corrections. We're like, we'll just make it a segment. And the way it works is you listen to the podcast or watch it, however you do. Then you write your correction of whatever stupid thing we definitely said.
Yep.
And you put it in the comments of the video. So we're on episode
52 right now.
So we're on episode 52. Any corrections, you put them in the comments for 52. And on 53, we read them.
Yeah.
And you correct Conversations.
That way we keep everything, all the records straight.
Yeah.
And you get to make fun of us a little bit of stuff that's going on. Cats McCoral writes in, he says, some small corrections, which basically means we're idiots. That's what he's calling us right there. It's Nixus Studios, not Nexus Studios, that PlayStation purchased.
And also he said apparently it's pronounced different as well. So I guess we said the wrong word and pronounced it wrong apparently.
So is it Nixus then? Is it Nixus? Okay, that's one correction right there. We did say Nexus, I do remember that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And Bluepoint only did a remaster for Uncharted 1 and 3. Didn't they do Demon Souls as well?
I thought they did Demon Souls.
Oh, and so Zacchino underneath also says Bluepoint did Gravity Rush as a remaster too, and a bunch of remaster PS3s. I'm pretty sure. I think they did more as well.
I think they did more. I feel like Bluepoint.
Hold on. So he makes a correct statement. Shadow of the Colossus, not The Last Guardian, and Demon Souls are remakes. So that's a thing right there.
Okay. We definitely did say it wrong though.
Yeah.
We said remasters. They did remake the game. That is a different thing. Also though, Casper, have you considered Get Fucked? You know?
Should try fucking off. We love you, Casper. Thank you very much for the corrections.
Yeah.
Also, I want to throw one correction to myself as well. Totally gonna call myself out on this.
Yeah.
Last episode, I said that Vander had joined us on the Patreon.
Yeah.
And he got 3 shout outs technically back to back because I mentioned him 3 times.
Right.
It wasn't Vander at all. It was actually Zacchino.
Oh. Well, fuck Vander.
Vander's like, I got 3 shout outs. And I was like, hold on a second.
Yeah,
and
wait
I'm in the chat. I'm like, this wasn't... it wasn't you that joined, was it? He's like, no, it wasn't me. And I was like, mother trucker.
So basically, Zach's been left out of the loop for 4 weeks in a row. Is everybody else getting shout-outs? Even people that are on the Patreon, this poor guy.
So as well as fuck Catsbar, fuck Vanda, and thank you to Zach Cacino. You're a legend. Thank you very much right there. So just say
well done, Zach.
And High Quality Potato was also very offended by the disrespect we gave him in the last...
absolute disrespect in this episode.
I'm not going to lie. If you're going to be a mobile gamer, you deserve it.
It's true. It's true. Go back to Candy Crush.
Got him.
Got him. Some people... we got any creative combos on the Patreon? Because sometimes people put stuff there, don't they?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Okay, cool. Cool. Next segment.
We do have one set of people to thank.
Before the segment.
We do have a set of people to thank.
It's true. Do you know what I've decided? I'm just gonna say thank you.
Okay.
Because I started getting really dark with this, and I was just like, at some point, one of these guys, because you know what the $5 patrons are like. Someone's gonna get called up. The police are gonna look at their records, and they're gonna say, we have sworn statements that you were in people's homes late at night. That you know.
They'll do that to us.
Yeah.
They'll do that to us. They'll ruin this whole show.
They will.
Just for their own personal
I mean,
gain.
they made it. I think they made it so they could ruin it. Because they're that kind of sick, twisted.
Build us up just to knock us down.
That's exactly it. And those people are the true gamers. Over on patreon.com/conversation. Who supports at the $5 tier. They came to us and they said, look, we want a podcast by you two, the only true gamers that exist. For us.
Yes.
The wannabe true gamers. We're not true gamers yet. We need you. We need more of you talking about gaming to become true gamers. And we'll give you $5 and above on patreon.com/conversations if you make it happen. And we said, you know what? Money will get you everywhere. We'll do that for money. And then they gave it to us, so we had to do it.
It's not selling out, it's cashing in.
So that's it. That's good.
Those people are Jeremy Horde, Sheps' crusty right nut. What a guy, I swear to God.
What a fucking name.
Oh man. Real Kermit Cinema, Record Friction, Adam the Papa Ametria Simp, Isak Manny, Catsper Coral, Super Whale Ben, Kevin Crow, Joe McCormack, Diogo. Hey man, where the fuck is Maria Judah though? You absolute slithering Thuffage, aka Zacchino.
Thank you, Zach. Do you know what? Keep that up, Zach. He forgot to read you out 4 weeks in a row. I say, fuck him.
It's Vanda.
Oh, is he actually on here?
Fuck you, Vanda. Benedict Clobbers, Batfan Reborn, Fishy, The Jackal, Jack Nicholas, Max H, Albiscory, Cobra SS. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping this support going. You guys are legends.
Yeah.
And we love you so much.
We're closing in on that 50 patron mark.
43 already.
People on Patreon are patrons, right?
Yes.
It's patrons. They're not patrons. Yeah, cool.
Yes, that's right.
I'm stupid.
We both are stupid. Guys, thank you so much. We appreciate every last one of you. Thank you so much. Before we get going right into the big main topics.
Yeah, boy.
I needed to call out a tweet that I made.
Yeah, okay.
So you know how I've changed my perspective on Twitter now, and how I'm just here to poke fun at people.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be like, let's have some conversation.
Yeah.
Turns out you can't have conversation with gamers, turns out. Especially on Twitter.
Yeah, especially on Twitter.
So I decided to get spicy with people and start posting just the most funny, insane shit. And I was on Reddit the other day, and I saw this one post on the PlayStation, on the PlayStation subreddit. He's already mad, guys.
This got me. I'm not even joking. I was sitting in my living room, I pulled open my laptop. I'm like, I'll check Twitter. This got me heated.
And you're going to understand why now. This is a picture of Ghost of Tsushima, guys, holding it. He's posted it on the PlayStation subreddit, and he says, officially my new favorite game. Maybe even better than Valhalla. The best elements of a Western open world coupled with an awesome East Asian culture and history. Very badass.
Maybe even better than Valhalla.
And I posted that tweet because I'm a sarcastic bastard. And I'm like, I hate Sony ponies. And I do hate Sony ponies.
It's true. I mean, we've been accused of being them, but we're not.
I absolutely hate them. Why do they think, for any reason, that I would be a Sony pony in any way?
It's ridiculous to think that we blindly support this one manufacturer.
Completely neutral. Completely neutral.
The irony is you're watching us on two Sony cameras as well.
Yeah, the people, oh fucking hell, yeah. The people who are on the audio podcast, you don't get those jokes. You need to go over to the video and check it out. I wrote down, I hate Sony ponies, and I put in quotation marks, maybe better than Valhalla.
Right.
Such a fanboy. Ghost of Tsushima gives you 25 hours of content, whereas AC Valhalla gives you between 60 and 130 hours of pure, unfiltered Assassin's Creed gaming. That's not even counting the excellent Wrath of the Druids DLC.
For the record, your tweet was very funny. I was still heated over reading the picture.
I can imagine you not being like, I don't care about the funny joke you made. I'm still angry as fuck as this guy.
To be honest, it was great. The perfect use of quotes for content. It's brilliant. It's a very well crafted joke. It's really good. The fact that someone unironically wrote that, right? That person is gonna vote.
Yeah.
You know? Jesus.
Anyway, basically, that was my opinion. I
was
like,
very
I can't
funny.
believe this guy's there. But
very
then
funny.
a ton of people either got really heated the fact that it was me saying Assassin's Creed Valhalla was good.
Right, yeah.
And also me saying that it's an Assassin's Creed game. And some people are like, mate, there's not even Assassins in it. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's got Assassin's Creed in the title.
It's right in the title.
Why would they put it in the title and not put Assassins in it? And people got even more heated from that. It was the perfect
It was
perfect
brilliant.
time.
It was brilliant.
Anyway, a lot of people got excited. And people that know us, they were immediately like, that's bait.
That's bait.
That's bait.
That's bait.
I see that. But everyone else just got immediately sucked in. But can you believe someone said that about Ghost of Tsushima? Maybe even my better than He could have said Last of Us Part 2. You'd be like, no problem. I understand.
Yeah.
Last of Us Part 2 could be better. You could
absolutely.
say Doom Eternal. I prefer Doom Eternal first person shooters.
Yeah,
perhaps.
fair enough. I actually really think that game, although I don't agree, if someone was like that, I'd be like, you know what? You can't, there's no accounting for tastes. And like, sure. Yeah. I can see how a person would say that, yeah.
But he literally picked out Assassin's Creed Valhalla
of all the games,
of all of the games to pick out, and it's just like, whoa. I went to the comments on Reddit, and people are like, what I'm getting from OP's title is that he doesn't play very many games.
Right, yeah. Seriously, if he's played those two games, then sure, I can see how suddenly things tighten up a bit. You're like, oh man, for my pick for best game, it's kind of a toss-up. It's between these two. It might even be better.
It's a toss-up between two games.
But like, freaking hell, if you've played anything ever, I mean, just ridiculous.
I thought it was just unbelievable. I
was angry all night. I was angry all night that someone really wrote that. I was angry all night.
You guys thought that we wouldn't bring up Ghost of Tsushima again.
And the guy bought Ghost of Tsushima secondhand.
Yep.
And I guarantee he didn't buy Valhalla secondhand.
No, Valhalla was a day one purchase. You can tell.
Right, yeah.
Valhalla was a day one purchase. And the last game that he played before Valhalla was Odyssey.
You know that.
You know that.
No, Odyssey's really good, but Valhalla, man. Just woo. From masterpiece to masterpiece.
It's just getting better. Oh, God.
It literally ruined my night.
I feel
your joke was really good, but I couldn't fully appreciate it until like 3 days later.
Anyway, guys, let's get started with the podcast. On today's show, we'll be talking about Cyberpunk 2077, the topic that we've been meaning to talk about for like 3 or 4 weeks now that we just keep pushing back because loads of things happen. I did also Death Stranding's director's cut and all the things that were announced at the State of Play that we missed last week. And FIFA
Yay
22 and its fantastic upgrade program that's so consumer friendly because that's the way EA are.
Pro-consumer for consumers by consumers consuming.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, that's what's going on today. Let's kick it off with our topic of the show.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with the Cyberpunk stuff.
Okay.
So I pitched this as an idea. I wanted us to talk about Cyberpunk in general, and also CDPR's reputation going forward.
Yes.
So for those of you guys that don't know, if you're living under a rock, Cyberpunk 2077 came out last year, December 10th.
Yeah.
And after 7 days of being on PlayStation Network, it was removed because everyone was complaining about the stability of the game.
Specifically on the base console. The standard PS4 and Xbox One were... It had stability issues on our PS5s.
Yeah, we would have game crashes all the time, and that was even on PS5. On PS4, however, it was horrific. It was terrible, and because they said that they would, PlayStation would offer them refunds, PlayStation basically just went, well, guess what? We're taking it off of the store for you. And it was off of the store for just over 6 months, from the 17th of December all the way up to the...
Recently, like
21st of June.
Yeah.
21st of June. So over 6 months, the game was not on the PlayStation Store.
Yeah.
Regardless, the game did make its money back in initial sales.
Yes, it did.
Everybody pre-ordered it because the hype behind that game was insane.
Again, like, if you don't know about the Cyberpunk stuff, then maybe you haven't really followed it. Cyberpunk ended up becoming, prior to its release, the most anticipated game of all time.
Yep.
I think that's probably fair to say. It was set to be the biggest game of all time.
Star-studded, it had Keanu Reeves in it, so the hype ball was rolling.
The team that built it were the guys, and the company that built it were the guys that made The Witcher 3, arguably one of the best games ever made. It's in my top 3.
Yep. And made by a company famous for being the most consumer-friendly, giving out free DLCs, and giving out DLCs that arguably people could say is actually the size of a normal game.
You can definitely say
pennies on the dollar.
For Blood and Wine, when they made The Witcher 3, the two DLCs that came out were both excellent. Every bit as good, if not better, than the base game.
Yeah.
Blood and Wine was like 20 hours or something. It was ridiculously long. Incredible, full AAA title stuff, and it was a DLC for like 15 quid or something. It was incredible. This was a company that was known for just giving you more and more, and then after you said thank you, they gave you more for saying thank you. You know, they had the best brand, the best standing in our eyes as a development house, and then Cyberpunk, which had been we'd been awaiting it since, like, I want to say 2013.
Yeah,
where we first saw that
little teaser.
Yeah. So it was a hotly awaited game. In the run-up to it, this became the most anticipated game by a long, long way, made by the best company that's made the best game.
And then when it came out, it was a hot mess.
It was nothing like what they said it would be. Stuff continually got cut. It got delayed like 4 times on the trot.
Yes. And
it had a lot of issues.
And it had... Because of that, it went from being the most anticipated game to a game that people quickly forgot.
Yes.
And ever since then, the conversation about Cyberpunk has been, well, do we trust CDPR anymore?
Yeah.
Anyway, and that's going to be our question today. I did want to bring out one little quote from Adam Kaczynski, who told TVN24, I think it's a Polish video game outlet. It said... This was when the game came back to PSN. Said, we have already achieved a satisfactory level in regards to the stability of Cyberpunk 2077. We have been working on the overall efficiency, which we are also quite happy about. Of course, we also remove bugs and glitches. And we'll continue to do so in the future. Them saying that it's at a satisfactory level at the moment, and I've seen gameplay of it, and it's not very good still on PS4. Yeah. It's not crashing as much, but still very, very bad looking. Yeah. Brought up the question in my mind.
Also, that wording, satisfactory. It's good enough to let people buy it.
From CDPR, who, again, we just laid out, is supposed to be go above and beyond for their customers.
They used
satisfactory
to anyway,
seems very short of what we expect from them.
I also, just sort of on this note...
Go on.
I do follow some of their accounts, and specifically the official Cyberpunk, I want to say Instagram, and they put a post when they went back up saying, you can now get Cyberpunk on the PSN store and blah, 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 and it's had this many downloads and stuff. It was their total downloads and stuff. And I was just like, it felt really out of touch. It felt like Solar Suit PR stuff, because the reality is everybody knows how it did, right? And if they'd have come out and said... after 6 months of work, we're now happy to announce that Cyberpunk is back on the PS Store. We finally got where it should have been.
Yeah.
If you want to check it out. Because acting like you didn't do anything wrong or the game was fine, no one buys it. So you should at least come out and be like, it's finally ready to be back out.
Yeah.
You know? But it just seems that they are suddenly out of touch in the last year.
Yeah.
You know?
It's this statement, coupled with all the conversation that we've had since the game came out, that made me want to ask the question here today. Has Cyberpunk's launch been irreparably damaged? No one even wants to go near it anymore or take a chance, even if there's anything coming out afterwards. Will this affect any DLCs that come out? And, crucially, will this affect pre-orders, day one purchases of future games coming up, even if that game is a Witcher game?
Yeah.
Because it's one of those weird things where if you say an EA game is coming out, you're like, not to pay attention. I don't care. I really don't care. It's like, oh yeah, it's Battlefield. All right, let me have a look at it. Yeah, but it's probably still going to have tons of shit in
microtransactions, all that stuff. Yeah,
I don't care. I don't want to say it. But with this, people seem to be like, Cyberpunk 2077 is the garbage that I want to stay away from because it's a hot mess. However, if a Witcher comes out, maybe I might be persuaded.
Are you in that boat? Because
I'm
not.
Kind of.
I'm not.
That's the conversation I want to have. So go on, let me know what you think about that question. So is Cyberpunk 2077's launch irreparably damaged CDPR and the game?
Yeah.
And also, will it affect your decision to pre-order or buy day one if the new game is a Witcher game?
Yes and yes. I think CDPR now will need at least one game as good as The Witcher 3 to even get people on board with the idea of forgiving them. For real.
Yeah.
And realistically, 2 to 3 games that are on average very good. Like, not necessarily The Witcher 3, but very, very good.
Right.
For people to say, okay, yeah, CDPR, they had one really bad mess up. But, you know, people mess up. So 3 games minimum that are very good to sort of recover a little bit. In my opinion, I don't see it happening. And I definitely will not be pre-ordering their next game.
Really?
Yeah, definitely not. I want to wait and see what people who really play games have to say about it.
Right.
And then if they say it's good, I'll get it. I will say I'm deeply concerned because it looks like they're going back to The Witcher. They're getting away from Cyberpunk, going back to The Witcher.
It's a business move, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
this
has been stained. Let's go back to the thing that's good.
I actually think that's a mistake. In the long term, it's the right move within the next few years, but over the next 10 years, I think it's a big mistake, mainly because, and this is my serious worry, they are bleeding OG story guys. All of the narrative leads left. All of the game designers left.
Yes.
Like everybody that was involved in making the masterpiece that was The Witcher 3, and it really was a masterpiece, they're all gone. Without exception. None of that team is there.
Yep.
The company is massively bloated from what it was when it made that game. So I don't believe that they're the same company anymore. Clearly, they don't have the same values. Like they brought this game out, which never should have come out on PS4s and Xbox Ones, but I understand the business move. And then tried to do damage control by trying to pass the buck on to Sony, which is just dirty and underhanded. Really, they should have come out and bit the bullet. And that would... This is the thing as well. If they'd have bit the bullet straight up and said, look, guys, we cannot get it to run the way you want. We've got a bunch of stuff to try and get it to fit on these consoles because we want you to play the game. And, you know, sorry, and gone with that way, I could have at least understood it.
You could have respected them for being honest as well.
But the fact that it was just filthy suit maneuvers, that completely burnt my trust. And I don't believe they're going to make a game anywhere near as good as The Witcher 3. And I do also think they're going to ruin the franchise. They're going to ruin the material. We shouldn't get another Geralt story. That's a mistake because Geralt and Ciri, that was wrapped up so great. I don't think so.
I agree, but do you reckon they'll do it?
Probably.
Yeah.
My pitch again is the Vesemir story, but I don't want this CDPR making it. I want the guys that made The Witcher 3 to make The Witcher 4. You know, Vesemir victory or whatever. Like, come up with some cool name, and you go from like Vesemir becoming a Witcher, going through his life, and then at the very end he meets his child surprise, but we don't know his name. We just know that he meets a kid, and you and I know, because we played The Witcher, that's Geralt. But it's never said. Maybe we don't even see the kid, right?
Yeah.
And it's all about Vesemir. We banged that one chick from the Gwent thing. You know, you go to the auction.
Yeah.
There's a chick there you can speak who was like a lover of Vesemir's. Like, let's do all that. Do some Witcher stuff. But it's not Geralt. Maybe involve some stuff about the actual what was it called? The thingy of the wolf. The Witcher House of School of the Wolf.
School of the Wolf.
Like how the witches are made. That's an interesting stuff to delve into. And by the time we get to Geralt, the making witches has been destroyed. You can't make anymore.
Yeah.
So maybe we can delve into that. That would be the game I would make. I don't think they will. I think they're going to go with the well-known, well-loved Geralt and Ciri and Yen and Triss and ruin it.
That's the problem. They're in a shit spot now where they need a guaranteed home run.
They need it, yeah.
And if you deviate too much from what they proved was right before, what some people who don't know good storytelling and where to end things and stuff like that, people who are clamoring for those people, they're going to be like, give us more Geralt, but those people don't know that it ended perfectly, and if you go too far, you can ruin it.
Yeah. The only way to do it is someone's going to take a golf club to his head.
Exactly.
You know, and you're going to go around to Ciri. Like, that's definitely a mistake.
Yeah.
I also think, and people don't get it, that the thing that makes Geralt so great is his relationships.
Yeah.
It is watching this dysfunctional guy try and have a love life and raise his daughter or find his daughter. That's the real investment. From the feel of the content on Cyberpunk side of things, whoever did like the romances, that was great. That was still Witcher quality. But like the dilemmas, like in The Witcher, there was never a good decision.
No.
You got like what you thought was right but sucked, or what you thought was wrong but sucked, and then whichever one you picked, and then the next playthrough you pick a different one. But it still sucks.
Yeah.
It's always a dilemma. There wasn't that level of complexity in Cyberpunk, and so now I'm concerned that like all of the content's just gonna.
So
what about you? Where were you?
I want to read out one thing before I get into what I thought was, because it ties into it. I put out a tweet. This was back in when we originally wanted to put this topic up. Yeah. And I said, so guys, Cyberpunk 2077 is back on the store for everyone to buy. My question to you all is this. Is Cyberpunk 2077 damaged beyond repair? Is a cataclysmic mistake of realism before it was ready? And will it affect the next game that you buy?
Yeah.
And I put down 3 options. No, they've lost my trust, as in they won't buy the next game.
Yeah.
Yes, but after YouTube reviews, and they also, yes, I love The Witcher. Almost completely split. The internet was completely split. 511 votes, and it's 33.7, 33.2. All the completely split down the middle there. So everyone is very conflicted on this topic. I understand it's The Witcher.
I love The Witcher.
Who doesn't want more The Witcher? But
I just don't think that's what you're going to get.
People are cautious. They're like,
Where do you line up?
Very interesting. If I was not doing what I was doing now, which is like content creation, so I can be in the conversation, I probably wouldn't buy the next game.
Right.
I am going to buy whatever they make next because I want to be in the conversation. I want to be able to talk about it and inform everybody of what's going on and whatnot. However, I think I would wait. I would wait and see what everyone's saying, get the general consensus out there.
Yeah.
Because we saw with the Cyberpunk 2077, it wasn't that long afterwards that we actually got the true Cyberpunk out there.
Yeah.
We got the reviews from the people who got the PC codes, and everyone gave it a 9 out of 10, a 10 out of 10. And then when it got to the people who got the game like one day early or something like that, and then posted videos online of Cyberpunk being broken as crap, that we did go, okay, there's something that clearly the media's not telling us.
Yeah.
And then afterwards we found out that actually the game was a little bit less than what we anticipated.
I would go a little bit further and say it was a lot less than what we were promised. And I'm not even saying what we were promised at the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm saying like what they promised was getting released to us, the day of release. It wasn't that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, while playing the game, I had a really good time playing it. I enjoyed it. It was fun for me on the PS5. It had some stability issues and some glitches, but nothing really game breaking. I had a good time playing it, but I also found it incredibly easy to put down.
That's the thing.
And how many times have I played Ghost of Tsushima? We streamed that a while ago. I was raring to get back to it. Pick up Control, raring to get back to it.
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clank, I want to get back to it. I found Cyberpunk ready to put down and just not pick back up.
And that's what made me think about the next thing that I said.
Yeah.
So our friend James, you guys know him, James Lasers, he replied to that tweet and he said, I think maybe it's clear they know how to make Witcher games. If they're given the time, I don't see why I wouldn't. But who knows where they'll be after this gigantic loss.
Yeah.
And I pitched to him and I said a word that stirred up the internet because it's like saying bomb on a plane.
Yeah.
Right? You don't say a certain word and because people won't listen to anything else you're saying afterwards.
Right, yeah.
I said, I have a thought possibly that maybe The Witcher was a bit of a fluke. Now, hear me out. I don't mean
I agree.
Yeah, they didn't put out a game and it happened to all just fall together and then that was it.
Yeah.
I think what it was is that they had the right collection of talented people
Totally agree.
at the right time.
With the right amount of freedom and...
They had the right passion behind them. They were
right
a smaller
size of the
studio.
company.
Exactly. Everything was at the right perfect space.
No
they had
major investors to deal with.
No, like pressure from above.
Yeah.
They had a franchise, a fantasy franchise that everybody was vibing with.
Books to build from.
Exactly. They had everything in the correct spot, and that produced this amazing game that people picked up, and then the community get fed into it. That feeded back into them, and that pushed their love of it up and pushed even more out. And then we got that great DLC afterwards.
Oh my god, this was so good. And this is what I want to say, because if the game, when you say fluke, you don't mean that it was an accident.
Yeah.
It didn't happen accidentally, but the fact that everything was where it was at the right time is the fluke.
Yes.
And like the team is different, the size, the company's different. It's all different now, and so that's not going to happen. The fluke is that you had all those incredibly passionate people all there at the same time, all there with the same vision, with the right amount of source material, all working on it. And that's why it's not an accident, and why Heart of Stone and Blood and Wine are still so good, because the fluke is getting the people together.
Yeah.
And of course they're going to build everything. The next thing, the two things they built afterwards, those DLCs, are every bit as good. The fluke was it all happening at the same time.
And then when they made Cyberpunk 2077, obviously more hires, more investors, more pressure from above, all these other marketing deals that they need to appease and stuff that. Maybe that
Time
messed with
constraints.
with the formula and threw that fluke off balance.
Yeah.
Not to say that they aren't very good at their jobs. There's clearly talented people there.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't even make the level of game of Cyberpunk with not talented people.
No, it's still a very great, very high quality game. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what I thought. I thought maybe we put CDPR on a pedestal far too soon.
Yeah.
Like, this has come up in the news recently. Dan Houser, the guy who wrote all of the games of GTA 1, GTA 2, GTA 3, GTA 4, Vice City, San Andreas, all of GTA 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. He was the writer for all of those.
Yeah.
That's not a fluke.
No.
He's made all of these great games himself time and time and time again. That's worthy of putting on a pedestal. Maybe we jumped the gun with The Witcher. I'm thinking maybe that even the next Witcher game might not be good because it's thrown out of balance now.
Yeah, it's completely thrown out of balance. And things like I said, basically their team that was Dan Houser, for that as a metaphor, that whole team left. The guys that do the side content and side missions, they all left. The guys that did the narrative design, they all left. The writers, they all left. The everything when it comes to what the heart of The Witcher was, which was story, that team all left either slightly before or during Cyberpunk's development and like ramp up. And the thing is, because the company increased in size, even when those people were there, they suddenly didn't have that immediate, I've got this idea, let me go and speak to the guy in charge and get the okay right now, we'll start working on it. There's suddenly like all these levels of managers, and that has to be cleared with these guys, and you check with this. And I also get the impression that as they grew after The Witcher 3, everybody came to them with these ideas. Let's do the rail system. Let's do this taxi thing. Let's do the car customization. And I'm like, yeah, we're getting bigger anyway. We'll have, based on the size of the team we had when we made The Witcher, we're going to be 10 times that. That means we can do 10 times more. That isn't how it worked. So they okayed a bunch of stuff, started talking about the stuff that I'm sure they started working on. They absolutely would have. And so they're like, yeah, it's going to have this, it's going to have that, it's going to have this, it's going to do the Mantis wall running and all this stuff. And then eventually it's like, no, it's too much. Oh, on a PS4 won't handle it. Okay, we'll get rid of the Mantis wall running. Yeah, well, also like this whole underground network of criminal organizations, like literally under the ground. Yeah, it's too much. The map's too big. PS4 won't handle it. Okay, cool. You know, get rid of that.
Yeah.
What about the car customization? Oh man, but like,
Get rid of that.
yeah. And so they okayed a bunch of stuff and then were held back by the tech constraints. I do believe that's a big factor here.
A massive factor.
Huge.
Yeah.
But also, and again, when it comes to business side of things, I think if they were the same size, they could have said, we have an incredible family on the PS4 and Xbox One who have enjoyed The Witcher and we love you. But this game, for us to make what we want to bring to you, it can't run. Like we've tried. We have had a huge team working day and night to get this to work. It won't. Like we're having massive stability issues. We can't even get it to stay on, let alone be the game we want to bring to you. So it's going to have to come to PC and next generation. And I know that means a slow roll for a lot of you guys. And I'm really sorry, but we want to make you the game you want.
Yeah.
I think it would have sucked. They would have got a ton of hate at the time, but would it have been anywhere near as bad as this? That's my question.
Exactly. Nothing would have been as bad as this. Right now, people are questioning whether CDPR should be around.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gone from everyone look at CDPR, you guys need to be like this,
right,
to get the fuck out. Why are you even in gaming, bruv?
Yeah.
You can't even make games.
And it's that sad role that we've seen. I hope it's a fluke, like another fluke, like the negative version. It's the karma. Like they make The Witcher, then they have to have a fuck up just as big, you know? But like, it just seems that none of these companies can stay consistent with it, you know? None of these companies can just keep making good games. BioWare, you've played Mass Effect 1, even for its age, because it is ultimately running on that same basic system.
Yeah.
Story-wise, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And then they come out and they give you Anthem. That's the last thing they made, right? And apparently that's in the same universe as well. So BioWare, Bethesda, all these titles, all these companies, where they just get to a point and then they never make anything as good ever again.
No.
So it just feels like it's one more on the pile of guys you believed in who then disappointed you.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know what, one thing I was thinking about while we was talking is that CDPR is very a company that strikes me as wants to be like fair within their development environment. So it's not like one person that takes ownership for the greatness that is Cyberpunk or greatness that is Witcher or something like that. Whereas in other places like God of War, we pretty much attribute, even though it's a team effort.
Yeah, of course it's
we
team
attribute it to Cory Barlog.
He's the guy that says yes or no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Hideo Kojima, same for all his games.
He's the guy that says yes or no.
Dan Houser, the same way we say that. So maybe the fact that they don't have a one person that is the visionary, that the buck stops with them, that says yes or no, that knows how to push the system forward, and then instead they have a group of collective good people.
Yeah.
That nothing's ever on one true vision. That way you never go forward. You're more like, oh, let's all go this direction. Oh shit, we're all going out of control.
Right. It's like herding cats.
Yeah.
I think they could benefit even just as a company from having like a community manager where, even though this would be a terrible job for that person, where all the good and all the bad gets focused on that person. So somebody's going to have to come in now and say, yeah, I know I'm going to get death threats. I'm going to be the guy that people focus their anger on instead of the company. They're going to yell at me, not the company.
So they can all be cool and they can work.
Right, take some of the heat off the devs, because when the devs are feeling the heat, then it's going to get harder to stay passionate about your job. And look, they made a terrible game. They made a game that was nowhere near what they promised. But if the devs aren't having a good time at work, they're not going to repair it. You know, they're not going to end up with... The thing is, they got to make some tough business decisions to repair their brand. We need a DLC that should be paid for free or almost nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that really furthers the story, that gives us something that's a AAA, that's like the quality of Heart of Stone, but for free. We're sorry. We messed it up. Here, please take this.
Yep.
Right? As the only apology we can really figure out to give you.
That's what we need.
Let's get that.
Right there.
And then another one, maybe you can get away with that being paid. Hopefully they can, because they need to make money to solve these issues. And my opinion is they should make Cyberpunk 2. They should take all of their assets that they have, focus entirely on a story, because I really feel like I had no connection with V.
Yeah.
Right?
She was
focus
very... I said she because I chose she,
it's
but
the same.
V, whatever.
Focus on making V a compelling character. Yeah. Make Cyberpunk 2 V's story, and don't do The Witcher. And it will be cheaper and faster to do it that way, because you can take all of your Cyberpunk assets, come out and say, look, it's clear we can't get this to work on the PS4 and Xbox One. This is next gen only and PC only. I'm really sorry about that, but like we messed up. We don't want another kerfuffle like we had before. Make it an incredible story. Make us care about V. And then, even though I think a Witch game would far outsell it, but do it as a reparation for your brand and to get your team and everything working, and then you can come out and either do a Witcher game once you've had more time, so you're not in desperation trying to write this game. Yeah. You've had more time to develop it, or do like Cyberpunk 3 and then another Witcher game. And I think that's actually the best way to do it, even though Witcher would make them more money. 100% will make them more money.
This is the thing.
But it's a dangerous
points
game.
To say with your one that's the way to do it is, if you skip Cyberpunk now, you've officially killed that.
Yes.
You can't make another.
You can't do it.
Exactly. You can't make a Cyberpunk game again. That's or even if you do, it's no one's gonna care. They're gonna be like when they're making The Witcher again.
Yeah.
And you're admitting to your people that you can't make one. If you do make it, granted, like you said as well, that the sales are gonna be low for it.
Yeah, it won't perform anywhere near as well.
But the thing is that if it's good, if you make it good, word of mouth will get around.
If it's good, it will sell.
You'll get people on YouTube streaming it. You get people on Twitch streaming it. Do you know what, guys? I know this CDPR. I know they fucked up. This, however, is actually good. Word of mouth will get round. The game will get round. It will get, if it's good, it will get Game of the Year nominations. It will be in conversations on podcasts. It will be on conversations in media outlets. It will be on people's lips.
Yep.
You can pay for promotion as well. And also, what that shows is that you have a confidence in yourself and you're willing to redeem yourself.
Yeah.
And that's admirable and that's good. That's the best PR you can do.
Also, they can leverage, because nothing spreads faster than bad news.
Yeah.
You can leverage bad news in a good way, by saying like, okay,
that garbage we made.
Yeah, like, hey, look, we're the guys that made you this. And now we're bringing you something that works.
The start of the trailer from the guys that brought you Cyberpunk 2077. Hold on, that's not a brag. That's not a brag. Yeah. But then they show something great.
That's the thing, is you could leverage the bad news, which was Cyberpunk, and get people talking about it, and that would be free advertising. And then I think a lot of people would check it out, just see how bad it is. And then when it's amazing, when it is what you're supposed to deliver, and when you can come out and now say like, hey, look, you get a community-facing person, and that, by the way, should be a native English speaker. I think that's really important, because most people are going to speak English. I think
don't want to get anything messed up in translation.
Right. No. And that should be like your community manager who comes out and says, look, we know what we did with Cyberpunk, and we made a lot of mistakes back to back.
Yeah.
And so here's what we're doing. It's current gen only, and that's going to suck for a lot of people, because you won't be able to shit on us. But I'm sure once you get you can get it and check out how bad it is. You do a little bit of like self-deprecation. But then you can say, look, as a result, we know all the lessons we learned from Cyberpunk 2077 will make 2087 the game that it should have been. It's not going to take us 8 years because we have all of our assets already. You can come out and just be honest about these things. Yeah. And said, like, this time around, the game is much smaller in scope. We're focusing heavily on making V someone you know. And then the rest of the story will be expanded with DLC. and we're going to prove to you can do this thing. And we're sorry, and we learned all these lessons. And some of you are going to check it out just to see how bad it is, and some of you are going to check it out because you love what we can do.
Yeah.
And the being able to leverage the bad press of 2077 will help them in their marketing. But you need the story. We need V to be someone we care about. And I do think that they should do Cyberpunk 2 and 3 before any Witcher game, and have that story because they will do a Witcher game. They should, as a business move, but leave it for 2 games time and have the story being worked on that entirety. So when you make the next Witcher game, it's perfect. And you prove that The Witcher 3 wasn't a fluke. Realistically, Cyberpunk's 2 and 3 won't do anywhere near as a Witcher because it isn't The Witcher, and people are still going to be blaming you. But it's the only way to actually repair your brand. If you want to be a dev house in 50 years still making games, it's the only way to do it. Otherwise, you're BioWare and Bethesda, who make Fallout 76 and stuff. And do you know what I mean? Like
Andromeda and Anthem.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to do it. But are they gonna doubt it?
They said that they've moved their production into a simultaneous parallel production system where they work on Witcher and Cyberpunk simultaneously.
I think that's a mistake. I think they need to bite the. If I was calling the shots, I would prep the company for making some really tough decisions, and those are: we're going to make 2080. We're going to make Cyberpunk 2. We're going to make it as cheap as possible, so like reuse assets and stuff, because we're going to sell it cheaper. It's not going to be 70; it's going to be 50.
Yeah,
and we're going to eat a loss there. And I would also maintain a writer team for The Witcher 3 throughout The Witcher 4 throughout the life cycle of Cyberpunk's 2 and 3. So that has had 10 years or 5 years of solid story development, so that when we go, okay, coming out with The Witcher, what are our stories? What are our things that it is just perfect? And that's the way you repair the brand in 10 years, in a 10-year lifespan. I don't see them doing it any other way.
I guess we'll find out soon what they're gonna do. They did announce that they made a con essentially, a convention for The Witcher. They announced they did that on the 9th. The only thing of interest that was there, 2 things that Henry Cavill said. Exactly, Henry Cavill, and he looks damn happy.
Yes.
The guy's been beaten down so much by WB. I don't know how the man could be that happy, but he is. He probably got like a protein shake in him, something like that.
Right, yeah. You want to give him your protein shake.
Mate, I'd shake his protein and give him my protein, you know?
God.
And also, they also said that the next-gen update for The Witcher's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming later this year. They announced they said a couple of updates are going to be. However, they didn't show anything.
Nothing, yeah.
They could have shown a couple of screenshots, and I'm like...
Do a comparison.
Exactly.
This is what it looks like, and this is what it will look like. Just a couple of stills from some iconic scenes.
End of the day, it's going to come, but the thing is that people are so shook up by your company. Give them some faith. Give them something to go on. Give them something to... Yeah. Okay, do you know what? I do have some faith in CDPR.
Yeah.
Instead of just... It's coming, guys. Believe us. Trust.
Yeah, a little bit of trust goes a long way.
Shut
up. Yeah, no.
Anyway, that got a little bit annoying to me, and we still don't know what it looks like, but we'll see how much... Because they've touted it as a big upgrade.
Yeah.
If it turns out to be... You know, like how we said last year about the director's cut in Ghost of Sashimi is not like a 60 FPS update. If it turns out to be 4K 60 FPS with some better lighting effects...
That, I think, as well, will be a real... As if they can get any more dented, but a real dent to their brand. And
I know it's entitled of me to ask for this because it's a free update.
No, it's not. It's not, because they mess up so hard with Cyberpunk. So you're right to ask.
And they were the ones that set the price.
Yes.
We said even when it came out, I would have paid for it.
I would pay.
Joe, this is actually quite funny because we said we would have paid for it, and other people would have said, yeah, I would have paid for it as well. Yeah. But when it comes to Ghost of Sashimi, wait, I ain't paying for it. Come on now, that's terrible.
I don't know.
Awful.
It's just cool to. I think they're just Asian racists. It's just cool to hate the Asian game.
That's
racists.
It. Whereas me, hold on a sec. There was Japanese writing on one of these.
I think there's on the T-shirt.
Japanese writing.
See?
I
See?
can't be racist. I have it on my chest.
I think it's just cool to hate on...
It's cool to hate on Sony right now.
Yeah.
That's what the deal is. It's the Apple thing where, like, when Apple started to get more and more popular, it's like, we hate on Apple because they're Apple.
Yeah.
When somebody else becomes popular, we'll hate on them as well.
Right.
That's the way it is.
Finally, to wrap up on this.
Go on.
If they
Comments
announce...
to read it afterwards.
Cool. I just want to hear your thought on this. If they announce either paid DLC or another game, are you pre-ordering it?
I won't pre-order it just so I don't give them the satisfaction of the numbers, because the pre-order is the only reason why they do pre-orders.
Investor talk, yeah.
Exactly, to pump up their numbers so they can go to investors and say, we got this many pre-orders. I won't pre-order, but I would probably buy day one.
Okay.
Because of the current situation I'm in now.
Because we're content creators.
If I wasn't, however, I would wait.
Yeah.
I would wait.
Fair.
I'm going to kick it over to Shepsy's crusty right nut. And he says...
I'm just going to close down the Patreon.
First thing isn't really on topic, but I just want to say thank you guys for suggesting Mass Effect Trilogy.
Hey.
There we go, right there.
Whoa, what's this you guys nonsense?
It was really my...
It was all Ed, 100% Ed.
Sheps doesn't really play video games.
No, I don't play games. I just hunt for trophies.
Even when he does, he doesn't play games for the fun of them.
Right. What a loser.
Even when he does, his controller's upside down.
Yeah.
Anyway, he goes, it is absolutely amazing. But I'm honestly going to get Cyberpunk, the next-gen version, because I was super excited for it before the whole mess, and I still think it can be a great game once it's all fixed up. I also, The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 2 were absolute mess on consoles when they first came out. It's true, that's what everyone keeps saying.
Yeah.
And now they're some of the best games out there, so I still have faith in CDPR.
I will say... The Witcher 3...
It was from 3 weeks ago, by the way, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. The Witcher 3 on... Was that PS4? Yeah. Yeah,
yes,
2015, yeah. My experience, and I'm the guy that gets all the stuff, it wasn't that bad. My experience of Cyberpunk was way worse than on The Witcher. And look, it had some UI things like swimming was rough.
Yeah.
Really rough. And a roach did some weird stuff, but overall it was fine. And I don't think
I remember the frame rate being quite low.
Frame rate, I got a couple of frame rate drops, but nothing like too major. And I don't think I ever had the game quit on me. I don't think it ever failed.
No, I don't think so. Crashes weren't that popular, well, weren't that prevalent, I should say, before. I've only noticed them more on the PS5, but I guess because it's just a more efficient way rather than having the game mess up on you and risking your save, it just crashes it for you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say, if you get Cyberpunk, at this point, with all the enormous list of bug fixes, which, again, Cyberpunk, their PR team, whoever's doing it for CDPR, has got that wrong. They're like, look at all the bugs we fixed. No, look at all the bugs you allowed into your final product. And again, there shouldn't be a, hey, look at what we're fixing for you. It should be like, hey, guys, we know what we did. The excuse, and it is a valid one, is that we had to get it out to you. We crunched to get it out, and it was too long, and because we wanted to get it out to you.
But that list will haunt me to this day.
It's like 600 bugs.
The day one patch is like, people seriously didn't look at it as look at how much they fixed this, look at how much they let go through. Claiming that they didn't notice all of this. They're like,
no, there's no way.
We didn't know that these were in the bug when we shipped it.
But at this point, sort of 6 months down the line, the game has it still has a bunch of bugs, by the way, but mostly fixed. A lot of stability issues. If you're playing it on a PS5 or Series X, I think you'll have a good time overall. There are some excellent things in it. The Pan Am romance is incredible. It is every bit as good as romances in any other game. It is beautiful. I assume the Judy one is.
I actually tweeted out the other day, I was like, I miss Judy. Randomly I was just thinking about it, and I was like, man, I miss Judy. she was so good to me.
Because and this is the thing that bugs me, is a game like Mass Effect, I played those, and then I was like, man, I want to know what happens if you romance this person, if you go Renegade. And I did it. I've played that game those games a bunch of times. One I've played a few times. Two I've played a lot. Probably 10 times. And 3 only once, because I didn't like the ending. But that's apparently been changed now. With this, I do have those questions, like, hey, what happens if you... like, before I played a male corpo dude, V, and then I went and romanced Pan Am, and now I'm like, what happens if I become a what are those guys that are driving around? A nomad. What if I'm a nomad chick and I romance Judy? Like, what happens? Or what happens? Does River try and kiss you? And what happens if you lean in or go to kiss him? All that stuff, right? But I have no desire to play the game again.
Yeah.
And for the record, dude, I'm not saying...
I have the game on PC as well, and I want to play it with the ray tracing.
I feel like you should.
But like you said,
no urge.
No urge to pick it up.
But I do think if playing it on next gen or good gaming PC, you'll have a better experience of it. And I hope, and I do really genuinely hope, that now that the game's had all these fixes... You good? You gonna sneeze? Bless you?
Damn it! That's the worst.
Robbed.
God, blue balls.
now that it has had all these fixes...
For the audio versions, I was about to sneeze.
I do hope and I do think you'll probably have a good time. I did enjoy when I was playing it. And I hope if you play it and it's your only game on your list and you really like smash it out, that you will have the urge to come back and finish it. And I want to know if that's your experience of it. I might suggest buying it as cheap as possible, though.
Yeah.
And that's not to keep money. It's not to use your money as a weapon from CDPR. I just would... If you can pick it up somewhere for 30 or 40 instead of the full price, I think that's probably better for you because there is the chance that you don't vibe with it and it's not great. I don't feel comfortable saying to spend full retail price on it.
But it is the fair... I think it's also... We talk all the time here about supporting the developers, paying full price where you can, but don't feel shy if you can't do it. Don't feel bad if you can't pay the full price. At the end of the day, it's all about enjoyment, and you should be able to do that. Pay what you can. However, if a developer or if a publisher has burnt you already, then that's the trust gone. That's the contract, the internal verbal moral contract that you signed with people, null and void.
Yes.
You're at that point, you're just like, nope, okay, we gave you one chance. You screwed us. You took advantage of that. Therefore, you don't earn the money. And I would, if I was a general consumer, I would definitely go and buy it secondhand. I'd be like, not because I want to take the money away again, but because that contract is now passed. There was some faith there. It was completely ruined, and therefore I'm going for something else now. Yeah,
my recommendation. I feel you on that. Yeah. I think especially because he's coming from Witcher 3 or talking about Witcher 3, is that I don't feel comfortable telling you it's worth full retail price for you to spend that much of your money on it.
This is a personal thing you have.
Look, if someone says to me, "Hey, I want to get Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Should I do it? I've never played the game before." First of all, even that, which is one of my all-time favorite games, I'll say, look, you should know it's not perfect. It has a couple of problems. Yeah. For me, I think it's worth the money, and I think, I think it's worth it. I do think so. So you can go and pay 70 quid or whatever it is.
But you really don't want to have that.
I don't feel comfortable telling you to spend full retail price on Cyberpunk. I don't. But if you ask me, if someone says, hey, I want to play The Witcher, the only way I can get it is to pay 60 quid for it. The Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is worth 60.
Yeah.
You can get it. It comes with all the DLC. If that's, let's just say hypothetically, that's a good way to spend 60 quid or dollars or whatever. Same with The Last of Us 2. Same with Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man PS4, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I would feel totally comfortable saying, oh, the only way you can get it is to pay full retail price. Yeah, man, it's a good game. It's worth it. Not at all for Cyberpunk. I just don't feel comfortable giving my okay on you spending that money, you know?
I feel.
So pick up secondhand if you can and enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it. Let me know.
Conbrosations sexy producer writes into the Patreon, writes into the Discord server, just like you guys can by clicking the link in the description. And he says, I tried Cyberpunk on PS4 recently, and it's still terrible. Don't recommend the game at all. I will still be buying the next Witcher, but any other IP from them will be unlikely. So as I said, that's like one of those people that's like, The Witcher is enough
I'm
to bring me back.
more concerned about a Witcher title.
Especially with the development team now.
Yeah.
Right?
And how much I think The Last of Us 2 was a fluke. I think The Last of Us 2 coming back to touch on that relationship.
It should have been a disaster.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And maybe it was the sheer overwhelming power of the good writing and the talented people at Naughty Dog that managed to overcome that. Because it on paper, this was a train wreck waiting to happen.
Breaking up that relationship
On paper, this was a train wreck.
Yeah.
And I don't blame the people that, there were idiots that saw parts of like the game before and were like, oh, is JW this and whatever. It's like, okay, you haven't seen it in context yet. And it turns out it was nothing like that.
Yeah.
But if the people had seen it and someone was told them from a playtester, the idea is they're going to, spoilers for The Last of Us Part 2 starting now. They're going to kill Joel. They're going to make this yoked chick come along, and it's going to be a focus of the game for nearly half of the game.
Yeah.
And Ellie's not going to win at the end. She's going to be completely distraught and lose all her family and everything like that. They'd be like, they're going to ruin The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That's what you would think.
Yeah.
But until it was put out, until it was played out perfectly.
Well, and also one of those things of getting all the right people all there at the right time. So you have Naughty Dog with its team unchanged.
Yeah.
With all of its narrative and writing and everything all intact. And you cast some of the greatest voice actors that exist. You've got Troy Baker, Ashley Johnson, Laura Bailey. Like, these are the best people to possibly make this happen.
Yeah.
I'm concerned that another Witcher won't be the Witcher that we think we're going into, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
T with the final comment wrote in, he go, T working on a shady hentai because
of course, yeah,
it's needed to complete the Conbrosations lore.
That's right.
And it's the only way you can truly express the love we have for each other through hentai. He said this is a 2-part comment, but the second part he goes, second, I'm not trusting scammers in reference to CDPR.
Yeah,
because a lot of people did feel like they got scammed, and I can understand what some people feel.
I'm not exactly in that boat, but I'm kind of swimming towards it. I'm swimming in the same water.
Yeah.
Like, I know what you're saying.
Is that they didn't say to us about any problems to do with the base PS4 version.
They lied. They lied
even
multiple times, and they lied and tried to pass the buck onto Sony, and they actually lied a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they deliberately hid that from any reviews, all that kind of stuff. So
I feel like we just caught the love of our life cheating.
Yeah.
And no matter what, if they never stray again, that will always be in the back of my mind.
Yes.
At best, we'll get things back on the road. We'll maintain the relationship for the kids. But I will always wonder if they're home late from work or who's texting them late at night. That trust is forever hurt and damaged. Yeah.
I think Sean also wrote me one other thing afterwards. He said, as for The Witcher, I still get the next game, but I will be very wary and wait for reviews. Not on story, but bugs and glitches. I'm way too invested in that world, and I wouldn't want to play a really buggy, glitchy Witcher game.
I can feel that.
Yeah, feel that too. Well, bro, that's I think we had a good, nice discussion about that.
Yeah, that was meaty.
Yeah.
And I think I can see people that don't play these games wondering why we spent so long talking about this and the company. It's because The Witcher 3 meant so much to us, and we were both so excited for Cyberpunk. I went and started a Cyberpunk, the tabletop game, to play it before I played Cyberpunk. You know?
Yeah. I fucking themed out my man cave.
You've got... I can touch it with my foot.
I bought the Cyberpunk chair, the one that you see all those influencers have, except I paid for it.
We did our Conbrosations 2077 stickers. We made... Oh, yeah, that's a really good...
It's still really cool.
It doesn't ironically, that's the best thing about the game.
Yeah.
That's the best thing about Cyberpunk is anybody that's got that, you can attest. I want to see it in the comments because some people are new. They don't know about our cover.
Yeah. We made a PS4 game cover that we gave out to our patrons. And it was just full of jokes, our faces on it and stuff like that. And it was good fun.
It was good fun.
If only the game had been great, then it would have been a cherished memory. And now look at it and you're like...
If the game had been great...
It's still a fun memory, but it's attached to this terrible car crash.
So I was planning this, and it's never going to happen now. Had Cyberpunk been on the level of The Witcher 3, I was going to commission for our 100th episode 2 steelbooks.
Oh... Because we looked at the prices of steelbooks and we're like...
It's manageable, but it's a bit much.
Yeah, it's like, okay. It's like, I think it was like £45 each.
Yeah,
like £45, that's almost the price of the game.
Yeah, we could probably get the game.
But
I was going to do it for like something for us where it would be like... maybe do 3, where it's like one for us each and one as like a giveaway.
Ooh, that would have been great.
Would have been cool. That was my plan. It was going to be my secret thing, and I couldn't wait to show you. I just had to wait for the right opportunity, maybe like a 1 year birthday or whatever.
Our 1 year anniversary.
Oh, 1 year anniversary, that's right. And then it never freaking happened. So
There you go.
anyway, Cyberpunk.
Oh, Cyberpunk 2077, guys.
Next topic.
Oh, our next topic, guys. Let's talk a little bit about the state of play that happened last week.
Yeah, that happened minutes after we finished it was a live episode, right?
In true Conbrosations fashion, everything that needs to be talked about right at that moment happens minutes after we finish recording.
We moved our recording day to Thursday, slap bang in the middle of the week. We took a day off work because it would mean we were more likely to be up to date and on time.
Turns out everyone listens to when the show happens and then they move their dates record.
Motherfrickers.
A lot of cool games were showing off. A lot of indie games were showing off there, which is interesting because it happened just after the controversy that Sony isn't very indie friendly.
Yeah.
There was like some news about how much it costs to get advertisement space on the PSN store, costing 25 grand.
That's not that much, by the way.
For advertising,
for 100 million
Do
users.
you know what's really funny? This is the funniest thing. So, I think it was VG 24/7.
Yeah.
The media outlet was first people to come to it, and they were like, Sony are charging this. They're like 25 grand. So anti-indie. Can you believe Sony would do that? And I think somebody got the bright idea to contact the marketing department in VG 24/7.
Yeah.
And ask them, because they're completely detached from any of the stuff. They don't
How
know
much
what's
is
going
ad
on.
space? Yeah.
They're, how much would it cost advertising and thing? They're like, there's a variety of ranges, but usually our base price starts from £25,000. And I was like, it couldn't have been more perfect. It couldn't have been more perfect.
25k, by the way.
And the gravity of Sony versus...
I was just about to say, by the way, the PSN store, far superior for advertising. Far superior for advertising. 25k, especially in the video game space, it's not bad. But don't get me wrong, it's more than I got.
Yeah,
you wouldn't see us on the PSN store.
It's like 25 grand. Oh,
I mean, hey, there are probably podcast apps on the PS5. Like, maybe we could do it, but it's too much for us.
Too rich for our blood.
But
there were some other things I will say, in the interest of fairness. There were other things that apparently Sony does where, like, you can't do your own discounts on PSN.
Right.
It's an invite only thing for some reason.
Okay.
PlayStation need to come to you and say, we're doing a sale in the summer. Do you want to be a part of our
Better
sale?
than Valve, though.
Anyway, there are some other things, and I didn't get into that, but that was just something funny I brought up. And it was interesting that this indie event came out after that indie news, because now it shows like PlayStation do care about indies. It's really strange. There was a ton of good little indie games there, and they showed off two. Was it one?
I don't know.
So they showed off Death Stranding's director's cut.
Yeah.
We got news of it before at Summer Games Fest, but we actually got to see it here, and we got to see what the extra content.
So what was in
entails.
that box that Readers pulled off the?
Absolutely nothing. 100% certain that's still something to do with that blue box games.
I do think I do.
However, now that I've seen Hassan Kahraman, that guy, come out and put loads of videos of himself,
I don't buy it for a second.
I'm so worried. I'm like,
paid actor.
Did this train just get away from you, sir? Anyway, the new Death Stranding director's cut is coming out 24th September.
Yeah.
So a month after Ghost Director's Cut comes out. It includes new modes, such as a performance mode for 60 FPS with upscaled resolution to 4K, native 4K fidelity mode. As well as that, it has PS5 features such as a DualSense controller support with haptic feedback, adaptive triggers for like the walking and whatnot, 3D audio, which is going to make me shit my pants whenever I'm around a BT.
That's going to be terrifying.
Yep. As well as that, in the director's cut, you also get new missions, new fights, new areas to explore, a bunch of new items in the games like guns, a funny bot that is basically a pair of exoskeleton legs with a platform that you can put stuff on.
Oh, cool.
And it follows you, so you don't have to carry the bags. And also you can jump on and just make it carry everywhere.
That's hilarious.
And also a cargo catapult. Now imagine like a massive railgun. Imagine the BFG from Doom.
Yeah.
That, and you just put your cargo in it and launch it to where you want it to go. And it sort of like lands nearby, and then you go and pick it up, and then go do your thing.
Isn't the point that you get stuff there not damaged?
That's the thing. Because I was anal about it, and whenever I'd get somewhere,
It's
it's
got to
like
get 95+%.
Exactly,
It
no.
has to, yeah.
that spray was constantly just like all over it. So the thought of launching the package and it's like a lost 25%, 50, even more probably from being hurled across the country.
Well, like the explosion and then the landing.
Exactly.
And you're going from like east coast of the States to the west coast.
I'm like, this is a bad idea. But anyway, apparently it's a thing.
How many dead eagles on the side of it as well? Just splat, 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 splat. It's just carnage when you get there.
Oh, God. And apparently that's how you can get to your dose as part of the thing.
That's
However, the best part, the part
Right.
that makes the most sense in the entire game,
Yeah.
is something called the Fragile Circuit.
Okay.
Fragile was the name of that express
Yeah,
thing and
yeah.
whatnot. And Circuit because it's a racing mode
That's what we were calling for.
within the game of Death Stranding. The cars
Okay,
that they have,
I'm-
they're actual cars, and there's nobody in this world to race with. Why is there a racetrack?
I'm going to call it now. I said this before. I'm heated because the one thing I would have added to Battlefront 2, pod racing.
Ah,
You know? So you can have
and
like
Kojima's doing it right here.
you got fighter pilots, you got running around as a shooter, you can become a Jedi, heroes versus villains, and some pod racing.
Yep.
Or even just space racing, you know, like that I think would have been a good like round out for the game to really hit every part and totally fit naturally. And I deeply wanted that. And I can't believe Death Stranding got it.
Don't worry.
But Battlefront 2 didn't.
Death Stranding here
Best
to
game
save
ever
the
made.
day.
Best game ever made.
I even tweeted out, I was like, after I saw it, I was just like, hold on a second, like, what? And the cost of all of this, if you want to buy the game brand new,
Yeah.
the full PS5 version, £42.
Yeah.
Not too bad. And if you want to upgrade from your existing edition, £10. $10. Very,
bad.
very reasonable price. And I tweeted out, Kojima once again saving the world.
Facts.
Because there's no acid trip on the planet Earth that can get you higher than the feeling you're going to get when you're playing Death Stranding.
Mate,
$10 will get you done, bro.
getting that level of trippage on a tenner can't be done anywhere else.
Can't be done anywhere else. Kojima saving lives.
Kojima better than Acid confirmed. Conbrosations stamp of approval. I was just about to say, because I never finished it, but I was intrigued by the story, and you keep saying how good it is.
Yeah.
And after somebody with a good take, Sean, told me to play Control, which is a game you also told me to play.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, maybe I'll like watch all the cutscenes. I can't be asked to play it, although I do still have it. I need to trade that in. But I watched all the cutscenes and find out the story. 11 hours.
Jesus Christ, is there that many cutscenes?
The shorter one, I presume that has all the little flashes of, when you're going up the elevator and the BB has its little flashes.
Yeah.
The shorter version, 7.5.
Oh, nothing then.
I mean, it's basically 1.5 Justice Leagues, so it's fine.
Speaking of Justice League, have you seen that Kojima's been watching the Snyder trilogy? And he's given it his seal of approval. He watched Man of Steel, he watched the Justice League Snyder Cut, and he went back and he watched Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition.
Yeah.
And the guy's just
Which,
like...
by the way, the Ultimate Edition is the only way to watch that movie.
Exactly. Even he knows.
It's not good.
And he's just tweeting about how much he loves it, how great it is, how it's perfect like art. And I was like, guys, me and Kojima,
Basically the same guy.
same guy. In fact, let me do the pose that he does in those photos.
Kojima, is that you? Kojima-san.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't know how to reply, so I'm just gonna say yes, sir. Oh, anyway, I'm looking forward to that. I did pre-order the full PS5 version again because the cover is Norman Reedus holding a floating fetus.
Okay.
And who doesn't need that in their
I was
lives?
about to ask something stupid. It's probably spoilers, and I don't actually care. Like, I'm not invested in the story, but there was this thing that his BB is him, or something like that, or he used to be a BB, or something like that.
Okay, because the director's cut is coming out again, I don't want to spoil this for many people, so I'm going to put spoilers on the screen.
Or we can talk about it afterwards, unless you think it's worthy of being on the stream.
It's a minor moment. It's like I'm only going to mention it for maybe 15 seconds.
Cool.
I'm going to put it up on the screen. So for the next couple of seconds, we're going to talk spoilers. When the thing disappears off of the screen, that's when you can come back.
Yeah,
okay.
For audio virgins, skip like 30 seconds ahead.
Yeah, it'll be in the show notes as well, so you can check out the timestamps. Okay. Spoilers starting from now. So yes, it turns out that he was a BB, and he woke up from the pod.
Right.
Never has a BB ever come out of the pod. So you know the flashbacks with what's the guy's name from Casino Royale?
Yeah, I know the guy you mean. I do know his name, and I can't believe I forgot it.
It's gone from my head as well. Him,
Mads Mikkelsen.
I would have killed me, mate.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen. The flashbacks that you're getting,
Those are Normans.
those are Normans,
Oh,
not the
shit.
BB that you're holding.
That's sick.
And that's why he's having
cool.
those things, and that's why he has the fucked up stuff whenever he touches someone, and his skin always reacts in a weird way because
Right.
he's a
He's a
messed
BB.
up tube baby and whatnot.
Cool. That's cool.
There you go.
Cool.
And welcome back, everybody, to the True Gamer podcast.
I was
right here.
surprised by the sex scene, but
Yeah, it was needed. Sex with a fetus is quite
oh
needed.
fuck!
That's something I said on the internet, guys. That's something I said.
Wow! I was like, yeah, just leave it vague and let people fill in the blanks.
The one thing I do want to bring up as a comparison, because people did make this comparison, is that Death Stranding Director's Cut, $10 upgrade. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, for the PS5 version, $30 upgrade.
Yeah.
We don't know the contents of these games, so we can't make proper
we
direct
don't.
comparisons, but there is also the comparison that Death Stranding isn't charging for any of the PS5 features that are coming with it,
Yeah.
whereas they are charging for the Ghost of Tsushima update. How do you feel about them now
Yeah.
being so side by side?
So counterpoint, one is Ghost of Tsushima. So
Fair point. I do. Yeah.
so for the look, I think people think this is a
Just
bit.
disarm me, guys.
I do really, really, really love that game.
yeah.
In my opinion, it is one of the best melee combat systems ever made.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. It's a great story. I think it's worth it. I don't care if Kojima's given it for free. I'll pay. If they had come out and said, for just the haptic stuff, tenner, that on its own, I would happily do that. Fuck content. I'll pay 10, 15 even to fight with that. Like doing all those duels with the haptic. Are you kidding me? Hells yeah. Hells yeah. I genuinely don't think they're very good comparisons because they're such different games. If it had been, say, like, in terms of story, they're not good comparisons, but like God of War.
Yeah.
God of War had come out with like a director's cut. I don't think they should or would. And they gave you the haptic for free. Then I might look at it and go, how come they did it but Sucker Punch haven't?
Yeah.
That's a sort of more of a comparison, or maybe The Last of Us.
Yeah.
On the other hand, much smaller company.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch is much smaller, and Ghost of Tsushima, while incredible, did not do as good as God of War or say like The Last of Us 2, Naughty Dog. So maybe it's a bigger task for them to do it.
Yeah, I made my case last time, and I'm not going to go over it too much. Just this, like, it is more work, so therefore they have the right to ask for more money, and you as the consumer have the right to reject that if you don't want to pay for it. But then you can't dictate them give it to you for free. That was the summary of what I was saying. And I like that Death Stranding's one is free.
Yeah, that's nice.
But in
It's a
my
great price
opinion,
point.
it doesn't take away from them being able to ask on the other side.
Yeah, I agree.
It does bring up naturally, and this is the thing you have to think about when you're going to charge anyone.
Yeah.
It does bring up the question, how come they're charging for it and these guys aren't? But that's just something that they have to deal with, and that's for them to decide, and it's only for me to decide whether or not I want to pay for this.
Not counterpoint, but something to consider. If you're Sucker Punch and Kojima, let's say you have to pick, which one are you going to bet gets consistent work at the current level that they're at? I'm saying Kojima all day long.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch has made great games before, and they've made, I guess you could argue a fluke unless whatever the next game is, but it seems that everything went right for this game. Kojima's getting top quality work no matter where he goes. Doesn't matter if he falls out with Sony, he'll get picked up by Microsoft, he'll get picked up by Nintendo. Someone's going to pay him to make stuff at the Avengers level of thing.
Not Marvel's Avengers, but
no
Avengers in the MCU.
Yeah, right. He's getting end game budgets for everything that he makes, no matter where he is.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch, I don't think you can say that.
Yeah,
they've made some cult classic games, like the Infamous games are great fun, but they didn't really put them on the map. And this is the one, but it's so far it's a standalone, and which is the safer cash cow. I'm saying Kojima all day long at the minute. So I think for them to do the extra work for right now, I think you gotta pay for it. Yeah. Luckily though, the next game it's going to just be included.
This is another thing as well I was thinking about, because I've listened to a few podcasts where they're all bringing this up. A lot of people are misrepresenting what this update is. They're like, they think they're like, but recently we got a 60 FPS update for this game. How come this is charging for it? It's more than a 60 FPS update.
Yeah, a lot more.
But also, this is all gonna be gone, and I think this is probably why Sony are okay charging and not worrying about the backlash too much. Is because next year this isn't gonna be a problem. Next year we're gonna be fully into
current gen.
Hopefully, we're going to be fully into current gen.
Yeah.
Fully into current gen, and people aren't going to be worried about backwards compatibility. Yeah. Maybe on the Xbox side they will be, because they'll still be a little bit light on games. It's Halo Infinite, and that's it really so far. Yeah. And then by the time they get into 2023, they'll have a full fledged of games coming out, and they won't have to worry about it. But that's why one of the reasons why Microsoft can do it for free is because if they don't, then what the
There's nothing
people
to play.
Gonna play on their goddamn
consoles. Yeah.
Anyway, that's all of that topic right there. I think we covered that quite nicely.
By the way, if you guys don't agree about the price difference in the director's cuts, like make your case. Yeah. I know we've had it before, but I'll happily talk with you about it. Like, I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. It's just that I'm right, and anybody that doesn't agree is wrong.
Exactly.
You know? Right.
Speaking of people who are wrong,
yes,
Diogo writes in and he says, on the director's cut topic, says, Ghost of Tsushima's PS5 edition being £25 or £70 is dumb. Need the DLC to get the PS5 version. You can't get it without the DLC. So I guess £10 is better with the content in Death Stranding, ? So I guess it's better, as in better value. At least based on numbers, it looks that way, but when it comes to content, it's hard to tell, isn't it? He says, personally, they haven't shown me anything to get hyped for Death Stranding Director's Cut, but hey-oh. And that's the thing I was trying to tell you about. Like, it does raise the eyebrows of people when they see $30, $10.
I will also say, pinch of salt, because it's not confirmed, but we have seen a potential leak from somebody that says they're a playtester, and they're saying the Icky Island stuff is 15 to 20 hours long.
The only reason why it isn't a main topic is because it's a playtester.
That seems dubious.
If you're a playtester, they have your name, they have your ID,
and
they
there's
have your
not
address.
That many of you.
There's 20 people in a room. Don't break your NDA, otherwise you're gonna get found out quite quick. So, whereas if it was just a random leak, I'd be like, cool. So that's why we're treating it as a bit of him. But if it's real,
then that makes Ghost of Tsushima $70 all day long.
A steal.
Yeah.
A steal.
I do think that. I get it, because I'm not one of those people that's like, you should pay full price for everything and games should be more expensive. Although, to get the quality of games we're asking for, they can't be cheaper. So I'm not like I respect your money. You know, I respect, because it costs you time to get it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to spend your time in the thing. But this is going to ruffle some jimmies. I don't think 70 is unreasonable for the base game for a few games. I don't think it's unreasonable for God of War. I don't think it's unreasonable for The Last of Us 2. I don't think it's unreasonable for Ghost of Tsushima. Don't think it's unreasonable for Spider-Man PS4. Or Ratchet and Clank. Like, I think those games are worth it. I'm glad we didn't have to pay it. That's nice.
There's no way this topic would have come up afterwards, unfortunately, but that ties in so perfectly to the next topic. Should we just go into that?
Yeah, go.
We've got some comments to read afterwards, but I'll read those at the end anyway. So that ties into our next topic, which is EA being EA, out EAing themselves even more.
I don't know, okay, it's not worth the money.
So this is so FIFA 22.
Oh God,
has locked their free next-gen upgrade behind a $100 edition of the game.
What? That's more EA than I've ever heard before in one sentence. That is so much EA. That's the last 10 years of EA rolled into one. They're up to 23... that's it. They're on 23 FIFA games, right? Because there's been a couple that weren't year-related as well.
Yeah.
That's just off the top of my head, I think. That is so... Do you know what? Just...
Let me tell you the story while your brain resets for a second. So
Wait. So you have to pay $100 to get access to free content?
So this is the way it works: is that they have brought out the game FIFA 2022.
That can't be.
Don't let me explain it to you, and you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
get this. Okay, FIFA 2022. They're selling it at $60 on PS4
Yeah.
and $70 on PS5, and you can buy each one individually if you want to. However, if you want to have the PS4 version and then want to upgrade to the PS5 version, you have two options: buy the PS4 version and then spend an entirely separate $70 to buy the PS5 version again,
Yeah.
costing you a total of incalculable $150. Or I think it's $130.
It's over 100.
It's over $100. $130, I think. $130. Or you can buy this $100 edition, which gives you the PS4 version and the privilege, the privilege of updating to the PS5 version whenever you want. So it is cheaper than buying the two versions separately, but they've locked the next gen features, and you don't get anything else. No extra story because it's fucking FIFA. There's no story. The fucking story behind a $30 paywall. So you buy the game for $40 because the PS4 version's $60, and then $40 extra gets you the PS5 version for that little bit of $30 discount.
Now, how does that Ghost of Tsushima update look?
Well, this is the thing. So,
But do you know what?
our argument.
It's not cool to hate on EA at the minute, but it is cool to hate on Sony.
I think people have just got tired. They're like, I've worn out. I can't hate on you anymore. So we made the argument, and we've made this argument a couple of times, that spending money on games, games should, we okay with the price hike to $70.
Yeah, because all of the mocap, the writing,
Yes.
the one-take shots, the cost to develop,
Exactly.
voice actors, yeah.
And our ability to choose, our option, our free will is still intact.
Yeah.
We can still go, I don't want to pay $70 for that game
Yeah.
right there.
I can wait and get it used, or...
Exactly. Or I don't want to pay for it at all.
Yeah.
Which, when we came up with it, I knew straight away that there was going to be people that say, no, if you make all games $70, games that aren't worth $70 are going to be charged $70 as well.
Sure.
And I said at the time, I was like, that's true. There are going to be people like EA that are going to be like, FIFA, $70. And it's like, it's not worth it,
It's not
so
worth
I'm
it.
not buying it.
Yeah.
You know? That's the reason why we have a free market.
Also, at the previous price, there were a bunch of games that weren't worth the money then. Just
Yeah.
about anything that starts with assassin in it.
Yeah, it's true.
You know?
Not worth it. Not worth it at all.
There were a bunch of games that weren't worth the previous price. That's kind of the risk you take purchasing a product. Yeah.
They said FIFA wasn't worth 60, and the audacity they have to charge $70 for these is outrageous. And then the audacity for them to charge $100 for a free next gen update.
Plus all the microtransaction stuff that's in it.
Exactly, it's gonna be
Yeah.
chalked to it's gonna be filled to the gills with microtransactions.
And they make money on the ads on the banners and stuff. Those are real banner ads. People pay for space on that.
Disgusting. Anyway, when we made the argument, there were going to be people, like we said, there are people that are there that are still going to try and cash in on that $70 that aren't worth it. And that's where you have to vote with your wallet. That's where you have to say, I don't want to pay for it. Now, there is the argument as well to be made that people who buy FIFA games, Joe McCormack, for example,
Joe,
uh,
aren't people at all.
aren't people at all, and they're not like us. They don't have a conversation about games. They just buy FIFA, and that's it. That's all they do.
They just buy FIFA and Madden.
Exactly.
And that's all they play. Yeah.
They're not real gamers. They're
Yeah.
just like, playing that. And I don't want to sound elitist. We're making jokes here. But
But that is a stereotype. Oh, same with Call of Duty guys. We used to be COD only guys for like a solid 5 years, 6 years, where all we played was COD.
Yeah, that wasn't the most diverse gaming, was it? Come on now. It was just one game every
And then
year.
when we did branch out, it was to Battlefield. You know?
You know what? I think we should maybe expand our horizons.
Right, yeah.
Another FPS. Another war FPS.
Right,
Let's go for it, guys.
right.
Anyway, how do you feel about EA locking this goddamn feature behind this thing?
I mean, look, I feel like over the last 50 odd podcasts, we've made our feelings on EA pretty clear.
Yeah.
They're the reason Battlefront 2 isn't still being played. It should have been a masterpiece. It could have been. It could be one of the most popular games even today, and isn't because of its launch and just terrible. They tried to frick everybody over.
Yeah.
This is bold, even for EA. I really wish that people would take doing over EA as seriously as they should, because you can get your crappy football reskins every year for a reasonable price. and you're not.
When I saw Assassin's Creed say they're going to become a live service, I was like, how can you make Assassin's Creed a live service? Like, how is that going to work?
Yeah.
Especially because you're like an RPG thing. I was like, you're going to have to really change what Assassin's Creed is to make it a live service. And
more river raids.
You're really fucking yourself up with this. You're ruining your formula. And I was thinking the one game that I could see turning into a live service, fucking FIFA.
Yeah, for sure.
Every year you just pay for the expansion, the next expansion, but they make so much money selling it this way.
Yeah.
And then the FIFA Ultimate Packs on top. Fucking that gets.
No, this is utterly ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anybody that does play FIFA like a lot, I really wish you would not.
Yeah.
Or come on, man, get it second hand. Stop giving EA your money because they obviously don't respect it. They don't respect you.
Yeah.
Even Rockstar, who were never bringing out GTA 6, gave you other incredible games. The Red Dead series, 2 of the finest games ever made. All while they've got GTA going, you know, like GTA 5. Although it's continued for way longer than I think any game probably should.
Yeah.
The fact is, like, they're putting in the work. They deserve it. You know, even as much as we make fun of Fortnite, they are constantly changing stuff, adding stuff, taking things away, doing events, changing the map, all this stuff.
Yeah.
EA doesn't do any of that.
Nope.
They phone it in every year, and people buy it, and now they're asking you to do $100 to get it on the PS5. Get fucked.
It's utterly disgusting.
That is so disgusting.
There is one extra bit to this where
it gets worse.
It gets worse, but it's more like the people in the gaming community. So there are a subsection of people. They're probably Xbox because again, it's great to hate on Sony right now. That's the way it is. Are blaming Sony for this,
right?
Because it's too soon to be saying that this was the cause of it, but they're blaming Sony, saying that Sony have set the precedent for $70 games, giving EA the idea to sell it for $70.
Right.
And also charging for next-gen updates. Because, you know, that was totally a thing before. Right?
Xbox would never do something like this, mainly because they have no games.
There's nothing to upgrade to.
Yeah.
No, but they're like, this is PlayStation's fault. I'm like... Even if, and I'm not above, I don't think EA are above seeing an idea and capitalizing on it straight away.
For sure.
Even if, again, it comes back to the question, why would you pay for it?
Yeah, you have a choice. Don't pay for it.
You don't have to get it.
Don't pay for it.
We're again, it's jokes, but we're trying to make a point here. We're real gamers. We don't buy FIFA games. They're not. There's no substance to them. They're just mindless reskins. They're
continually
every single
reskinned.
year.
Yeah, pretty much.
They're designed to extract as much money out of their players as possible. That's their definition.
Yeah.
So why would you even entertain the idea of a FIFA
If you're FIFA
game?
21, you're not at a huge disadvantage for missing out 1 year.
No.
Right? You'll be okay staying on 21 playing with your mates.
Yeah.
You know?
Joe McCormack writes into patreon.com/conbrosations, just like you guys can. You support us at the $1 level or above. And he says, as the filthy FIFA fanatic, it feels only right I return with an opinion on EA and FIFA 2022.
Please defend it. I wish you would. Did he?
No, he didn't. That would have been great.
I wish you would have. That would have been amazing.
I'm going to edit. Hold on a sec. FIFA is actually the best game of all time, and I believe $17 for a new game is perfect. Next gen is not good enough unless you pay the full $70 for it. That's what he says right here.
Well, Joe, you know, I wish I could say I expected different from you, but obviously I don't, because you are the filthy
fanatic, right there.
That is a tongue twister.
He didn't actually say that. What he said was, FIFA has always been a disgrace. Charging $70 for the new game now that it's next gen is madness. The problem is that the people still buy these games. I should make it clear that I don't. He doesn't actually play FIFA. It was the joke we went along with, so don't worry about that. Until people stop buying games and the microtransactions, they will keep doing the same thing over and over again. And this is a huge problem.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And unfortunately, the only thing I can say is that we as gamers, as the proper gamers, we need to... What's the word? Exile. We need to exile FIFA gamers away, because we need to not associate ourselves. We need to put them in the bucket with mobile gamers and PC gamers where they don't matter. Because FIFA fans they don't watch YouTube videos of genuine conversation.
No.
They don't listen to podcasts, gaming podcasts.
They just play FIFA until the next FIFA comes out, and then they play FIFA.
They play
the next
FIFA.
FIFA comes out.
And the only other thing they might do is go online to watch KSI open FIFA Ultimate Packs. The most dumbest thing in the world. I don't understand it.
The view count on those things.
It's true. I don't get it. What do you get from someone going, oh, Ronaldo, ah! And then nothing comes of it.
Literally nothing.
Anyway, those people aren't going to be watching this. They're not going to be in the conversation. All they're going to see is that their game is there. They're going to pick it up and give whatever money it costs for it every single year, buy the microtransactions, whatever EA put in front of them.
Yeah.
Because they don't care about anything else. They just want that mindless fun.
One final note on that topic, though, because although Joe doesn't actually play FIFA, he is big in sports. And I think his Facebook page, he's got Stato Joe on Facebook, is pretty popular.
Being into sports is fine.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the game.
But apparently people really enjoy that. It gets a lot of stuff. So if you're if you're really into football and stuff, Facebook.com, whatever, Stato Joe is who you're looking for.
Stato Joe, search for that on Facebook.
Apparently he knows about sports. I don't know. As long as it's not FIFA, I don't care. I don't care. And I don't want EA doing $100. It's
So
EA.
ridiculous, right?
This is the thing. People are going to pay for it. And then those same idiots are going to buy this year's home kit and away kit for the football team that they... do you know what I mean? They and then the football they not kick around in the park. Oh, well, this year's Premier League football changed to this design, so I've got to... It's just... They're a money farm.
Yeah.
We should just do a football podcast. And
I hear the advertisement is really good.
I can believe it. I mean, you're marketing to people that will just throw money at literally nothing. So I think we should do it.
And that's all the topics that we had for this week. We've got a couple of comments that we want to wrap up on right here. One of our comments sent into patreon.com/conbrosations, just like you guys can have to do /
Yeah, have to every time.
Sheps' crusty right nut writes in. Your nut is really
it's super talkative right now,
all
isn't
over
it?
the place, bro. Mine was bruised, yours is crusty. It's great. It's
God.
Red Dead Redemption 2 is by far the superior game compared to God of War, and Red Dead Redemption 2 got robbed at the Game Awards. Drops mic.
No.
I'm going to just refund his patronage. We don't want his money anymore.
Kick the cunt off the Patreon. Frick that guy.
You were Patreon since May 2021. You are no longer so.
Yeah, you're not wanted. I will say, a few games have been robbed. There have been games that have, while excellent, sort of maybe it's not that they didn't deserve the winning the title, but they took too much, and they were very worthy competitors at the time. So 2018 God of War took everything.
Yep.
2019 The Last of Us 2 took everything, and The Last of Us 2 is fantastic.
Yeah.
But there were other incredible titles that had like best score and all sorts of stuff, best gameplay, best narrative, that could arguably have taken those slots and not in any way diminish Last of Us 2.
Yep.
I don't feel like it's fair that Last of Us 2, while by the way one of my favorite games of all time, I don't think it's fair that it took all of those titles, because just comparing it to Ghost of Tsushima, they go head to head pretty well.
Yeah.
And same with God of War and Red Dead Redemption. Those games are close in a lot of ways, and God of War, I think we would both say probably the best game ever made.
It is the best game ever made. This fucking dickhead right here, writing in about Red Dead Redemption 2, doesn't know gaming. Get off of this gaming podcast. What are you doing
It's for
here?
true gamers only.
Fake gamer guy.
Motherfricker.
Did we read his name out for the true gamers? We must have. He's a super
have.
bro. Bastard.
But God of War won too many awards. Not that it didn't deserve them all, but that it wouldn't have been diminished in any way had it not won like best soundtrack or something, you know? Like, come on. You can't win everything. There are other games as good. If they butt heads and this game's won 50 other awards, give the freaking score to someone else. Give the best action to here. Like, come on, man.
So weird. Did you, slightly out of the realm of gaming, but still into awards, did you see the the Emmy that was given to Don Cheadle?
No.
What character did he play? War Machine. He plays War Machine in MCU.
Yeah.
He got an Emmy for his performance in Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
What?
He was in it for all of 6 seconds in the first episode.
Yeah, he has like 6 seconds of screen time. Mate, that...
What the fuck do these awards
that is a pity award, isn't it? That I'd feel so...
I'd be
just...
like...
Yeah. Are you kidding? He did, and look, Don Cheadle's a really talented guy, and they gave it to him for 6 seconds of screen time where he says like a sentence and a half and does nothing. That's not good.
So dumb.
That's so bad.
Oh shit, that got me good.
That's insulting.
Oh boy. Okay, let's have a look. What else we got? Oh yeah, we're gonna read some comments out. So I asked for people's impressions on the state of play as well.
Yeah,
I felt like it was an okay episode. It was okay. It was there were rumors that there were supposed to be more things showing off, like Call of Duty. There apparently was supposed to be rumors anyway. This is just people's theories of the blue box game being there.
that blue box thing cracks me up.
It's just such a hilarious thing. I want to see what's going to happen just because of all the conversation around it.
Yeah.
And apparently there was going to be a God of War tease as well. That's what people are saying. Apparently that's all been moved to the early part of August. We don't know.
We'll find out soon.
But for what happened there, Spleen Bob Dingbag #Lima for Conmod.
Cool.
Right, in he says...
I feel like, are we reading code?
I feel like we are. It's just fucking how... Anyway, he goes, on the topic of the state of play, Lost Judgment, a game he goes, I really love, but I'm extremely bummed I couldn't get on PC, get a PC
bummed.
port.
Sorry.
He is bummed, isn't he? He gets bummed. Get the PC port due to the lead actor agency. Oh, was he not in the PC port? Oh, that's unfortunate. It looks like Sleeping Dogs Combat mixed with Yakuza 3 combat because it's a really neat concept, but alas. Why don't you just get it on console where games are supposed to be played?
Yeah, it seems very strange to me. You say you're a gamer, but you're not getting it on console?
I don't really understand that.
How does that work?
Yeah. He said Jet, Jett, looks very much like a 2D No Man's Sky. It's really nice atmosphere from the presentation. It looked really good game, but I doubt I'll get it. Fist, this is one I like the look of. Just a bootleg Overgrowth. It looked good to me. Won't get it unlikely level. He's telling us everything he won't get.
What will you get?
What will you get? He goes, although uninterested in anime and anime games in general, Demon Slayer, the Hinu...
Don't worry about that. Yeah.
Hinokami Chronicles looks sick as fuck. It absolutely doesn't deserve the £70 price tag, however. And
I watched Demon Slayer. It was underwhelming.
Yeah.
At best, it was a solid meh, in my opinion. The only good thing about it is the animation.
And Diogo as well. He goes, state of play, yeah, disappointing, but I'll keep my eye out for Demon Slayer on the and Fist. He says right there. Yeah, so that's everything that we've got from our bros. Oh, hold on a sec. We did have some more Patreon comments. Hold on. I closed the window like an idiot. Shouldn't have done that.
Frickin' idiot.
I am a fucking idiot. So I'm going to open up now. Opening up. No, that was it. No, that was all. That was all.
That's everything.
I read them all already. Yeah, that's everything, guys, from the True Gamer podcast. How do you?
I don't want to hear a freaking word about Ghost of Tsushima's price now that we know EA is charging $100 for FIFA on current gen. That is.
The Ghost of Tsushima price debate, the next gen update debate thing, is still raging to this day, and it's like 2 weeks old. This information. The EA thing, I guarantee you, by the time we get on the internet now, it's already died down.
I bet.
But it's because it's fun to hate on PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, also, it's like because PlayStation gives you so much, these people are like butthurt when they ask for something in return, whereas EA only rapes you.
That's the dumb thing.
It's like, oh yeah, we're getting raped. What's EA? Of course.
It's just the EA, of course.
Yeah.
Why not?
Right.
Anyway, guys, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of the True Gamer podcast. Remember, you can support us in all the great ways by liking the video, leaving a comment down below, any corrections you have or anything you liked about the show. You can also head over on podcast services and rate us 5 stars. If you want to take it even further, head over to patreon.com/Conbrosations and kick us a couple of bucks where you can get a couple of exclusive shows and support us and make all these things happen. Bro.
Yes, I am, bro.
Everything about you. How hung you are, everything like that. Did I change I didn't change the background on the thing, did I? I downloaded a Death Stranding holding the fetus thing, and I think it was Loki in the background for this whole time, and then it turned off after a while. That sucks, eh? I'm professional. Bro, we'll catch you in the next episode of the True Gamer Podcast, bro.
I'll be here for it.
I haven't got anything funny to say this time. I'm sorry, guys.
I mean, we don't have to be entertaining. No one's here to be entertained. It's not like we know what we're talking about.
That's true, actually. We don't know what we're talking about.
I can't believe it's 11 hours of cutscenes, by the way, for that thing.
That's mad.
It's nuts.
It's
stupid.
I know there was a lot of like cutscenes, but maybe because I was too confused by what was going on that I didn't notice the time going by.
11 hours is just too much, and it was ridiculous.
Alrighty.